Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining our webcast today. My name is Marc DiPietro. I'm the Vice President for Marketing and Communications at Landmark College in Putney, Vermont. And today's panel is going to tell you all about campus life, student life, and activities and engagement at Landmark College. You can ask questions through the Q&A box at any time during the presentations. And we're going to save the questions for the end of our presenters. And without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over right now to the Vice President for Student Affairs, Michael Luciani.
Thank you, Marc. Hello, everybody. As Marc said, my name is Michael Luciani. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs at Landmark College. And we're really pleased to have the opportunity for so many of us talk to you today about what your life looks like outside of the classroom when you're a member of the Landmark College community. There's a lot of effort, a lot of devotion, a lot of hard work that goes into making sure that student lives are engaging, exciting, and there's lots to do here. So what I would like to do is get to the staff that are going to be talking with you about the many varied ways that activities and programs are developed and offered to students on campus. But first, I'd like to just talk to you about what Student Affairs does. Student Affairs is that division that works really closely with the academic program to make sure that your entire life makes sense here on campus, that what happens in the classroom makes sense and is connected to a lot of the things that happen outside of the classroom. But in addition, Student Affairs is charged with making sure that students' lives on campus are not only engaging, but there's lots to do. So you can spend time with your classmates, you can spend time with students that you have common interests with, and you can spend time exploring things that you may have never tried before, but are presenting as something very interesting or very engaging or very inviting for you to try. College is a time of exploration, and we want to provide a wide range of things for you to do and explore in order to get the most out of your Landmark College experience. So that's what Student Affairs really is. By the time you leave Landmark College, whenever that is, we want to make sure that you are going into the world as well-rounded citizens, and Student Affairs works very hard to make all of that happen as well. So we want to break down how activities and programs work by talking about 4 elements of our current model. So the first one is related to the residential program. So we have a number of small residential communities on campus that students live in, and that provides really the basis of how you start to connect with your community, other students, and a lot of different interest areas that you have on campus. The residence halls are meant to be engaging, exciting communities in a small environment with a lot of resources that can point you in different ways on campus, different directions on campus, to all the other activities and opportunities that we have for you. And that's exactly where we head next. We want students to engage in all the activities and programs that help you feel like you're a part of this community here. And not only that you're a part of the community and that you belong here, but that you have something to contribute as well. We just don't want spectators here at Landmark College. Every program, every activity, every event that you go to, we want you to be an active participant in how the community develops here. Because we know that if that is available to you, if you get to engage in things that are interesting to you and you're not just sitting and watching something, then eventually you're going to find a really specific place on campus where you want to bring your skills and your talents. And that's why we have such a strong leadership program on campus. So we want you to find your place here on campus and then take your talents and skills and your commitment to any particular area and become a leader in that area and develop your leadership skills there. And then we want to, and that's really how you become not only part of the community, but you contribute to the community as well. So in addition to the athletics, the activities and programs that we sponsor, there's athletic clubs, there's intramurals, there are intercollegiate sports and fitness activities. So there's a lot of ways that, a lot of things that you can do outside of the classroom that help you not only develop connections with each other, but help you stay healthy and well, and make sure that you're getting enough exercise, that you're taking care of your body as well as your mind on campus. So that's a brief overview of what student affairs and student activities can do. I really want to turn it over to the staff that make it all happen. And the first member of our team that you're going to talk to is Marc Thurman, and he's the coordinator for the Centers for Diversity and Inclusion. So take it away, Marc.
Thank you, Michael. Hello, everyone. My name is Marc Thurman. I am the coordinator of diversity and inclusion. There's actually 4 centers right now with the Centers for Diversity and Inclusion. The first center is the Rise Up Center, which is for African-American students. And then we have the Women's Center, which is devoted to the women on campus. And then we have the Stonewall Center, which is connected to the LGBTQ community. And right now we just started programming within the Hispanic community, which is Latinx. And we're really excited about that and doing programs where we're able to just connect to everyone. We want everyone to feel like they have a place here and they can be connected here community-wise. With programs, we're able to have student leaders, so assistant coordinators, full staff of students that work together in developing programs that talk about social justice issues that are happening in the world, talking about the presidential debate that happened and the presidential candidate and the new president now. So all these different conversations and all the things that are happening in the world, these conversations are happening with students who are educating themselves on different issues that are happening, which is great because we're educating one another. And that's what we're all about moving forward. We also have the Reach One, Teach One program, which is a mentor program for African American students to find success here on campus, but also to feel part of the community and to understand that we're all working together to move forward together. So that's just a quick overview of the Centers for Diversity and Inclusion. My name is Marc Thurman, and it's so great to connect with everyone. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Marc. So the next member of our team that is going to talk with you is Kari Post, and she's our Director of Athletics, Fitness, and Recreation.
Hi, everyone. So as Michael said, I'm Kari. I'm the Director of Athletics, Fitness, and Recreation at Landmark College. And I basically oversee a department that manages all of our fitness centers and outdoor recreational spaces on campus, our athletic programs, all of our drop-in fitness programs and recreation programs. And in a minute, Josh will be speaking to you about our intramurals and outdoor programs. So at Landmark College, we offer competitive athletics for students. We have a soccer team, a cross-country team, a men's basketball team, women's basketball team, and baseball and softball. And our programs at Landmark are pretty unique because they allow students to participate based on their interests and kind of based on their commitment to the sport. So unlike some other schools, we're really looking for students who want to step up and who want to commit to the team. And we have students of varied playing ability. So we'll have some students who played 4 years of varsity athletics and some who are trying a brand new sport for the first time. They might have played a different sport and they're coming to Landmark and trying something new. We also have a bunch of drop-in fitness programs and fitness resources for students. So those programs include things like our women's workout group, which is an opportunity for our female students to all get together and have a safe, fun workout group that just kind of enjoys working out together. We also have drop-in community fitness programs and drop-in intramurals and recreational sports programs. And then on campus, we have a bunch of different resources and for people and spaces on campus for people to exercise. So our Click Family Sports Center has a gymnasium lined for basketball, tennis, and badminton. And then we also have fitness centers in multiple areas of campus, including the Click Family Sports Center, as well as the basement of some of our residence halls. And then we have outdoor recreational spaces, including a skating rink in the colder months, a ropes course that we use in the warmer months, and a campus trail system, disc golf, and a variety of different things. So I'm going to pass it along to Josh so he can kind of speak a little bit more to our recreational and outdoor sports. But we have a lot you can do here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. As Kari said, my name is Josh, and she and I work together quite a bit. Me focusing mostly on our outdoor programs and other like drop-in recreational opportunities. So our weekend trips are mostly kind of focused on getting students outdoors in a like off-campus kind of way. So we do a lot of trips. Some of our more popular ones in the past have been like paintball or whitewater rafting. We usually do rock climbing trip and then sprinkle in a bunch of other ones that happen, more often, like hiking trips to area mountains. We've done canoeing. So anything that really Vermont and New England has to offer, which is quite a bit for the outdoors. So there's no limit to, what resources we can tap into here. And then in addition to our weekend trips that I host, we also, as Kari mentioned, have regular drop-in intramural programs. So, as a less like a lower commitment level than our intercollegiate groups or teams. I'm hearing an echo. I don't know if somebody, you guys hearing that? Okay, is that better? Thanks. So our intramurals are just students, Landmark College students playing against other Landmark College students in a drop-in kind of fashion. You don't have to sign up. You can show up to just one. If you just want to play dodgeball, that's totally fine. Come to the night that we play dodgeball. If you want to just play flag football or volleyball, like you can show up to just those or all of them. So intramural sports is one of our most popular drop-in programs that we host regularly, and students love them. I think our biggest night that I've seen is like 50 students playing dodgeball, and that was quite something, especially since people were wearing costumes for Halloween, onesies and everything. So we also have open climb. We have a 32-foot wall climbing wall in our gym with 5 belay stations. We also have a PE class, Intro to Rock Climbing, that Kari and I host through our academic affairs programs. And so, those are programs that we offer you, but if you are also hoping to get out on your own, you don't need the structure or the support. We also have loaner equipment. We have almost 20 bike fleet that you can rent out in the summertime or warmer months. And in the colder months, we have things like snowshoes, tubes, micro spikes, and stuff like that, seasonal things that you can borrow and just go out and adventure on your own. In addition to that, we have, actually Kari mentioned that, so I won't go into it, I won't repeat it, but one thing she didn't mention was the zip line that we also have on campus. So I just want to throw that out there as one last thing. So that's what I do here, and I'm going to turn it over to one of our student leaders who's attended so many of our programs, Zack Steinbaum. He's a club leader and one of our athletes, so he can kind of share the student perspective on some of the things that we operate here. So take it away, Zack.
All right, thanks, Josh. Hi, I'm Zack Steinbaum. I am a sophomore here, and I'm majoring in psychology. So some of the things I do here at Landmark are I'm on both the soccer team and the basketball team. I'm one of the 2 leaders of Hillel, which is the Jewish group on campus. And just some drop-in events that I go to is you can find me at every intramural. As much as I can with all classes and everything else. Josh and I and a bunch of other students here, we do mountain biking trips to the local mountain biking trails, and also drop and rock climbing. Every once in a while, I'll come in there, show up. Lots of fun. So at Landmark, the amount of activities here have really benefited me from a personal standpoint. So coming here, I was really hoping for a lot of options to hang out with friends athletically, as well as to stay connected to my Jewish faith. And what I found here really exceeded my expectations. At Landmark, I find myself with at least 4 to 5 athletic options per week, plus with a Hillel, which is the Jewish club here, at least once a week. In high school, I was involved with youth group and athletics, but I was never really a leader. But at Landmark, the environment has really transformed me into taking a leadership role. So as I said earlier, I co-lead Hillel, and I find myself to be one of the leaders on the soccer field and the basketball court. And I thank Landmark College for really helping me transform into the leader I am today. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Emily, who is the director of the student clubs here at Landmark.
Hi, thanks, Zach. I'm Emily, and I'm the director of student activities at Landmark College. The goal is to help students make meaningful connections on campus. The Student Activities Office has tools for leadership development, team building, and group collaboration through engagement in our programs, organizations, clubs, and activities. We're prepared for new students to hit the ground running in terms of engagement and co-curricular activities. We take a several-pronged approach to leadership development. First, we embed leadership skills into our student club and organization experiences. Each student who completes the process of joining and starting a club will learn networking and other valuable social skills. Next, each year, we host a student leadership conference. All students are invited to attend, present, and volunteer at this conference, and we see high student turnout at this event. Additionally, we offer a leadership workshop based on the Emotionally Intelligent Leadership for Students series. This workshop promotes self-understanding and personal growth as methods for developing leadership skills. The focus of this workshop is awareness of one's own actions and how they impact others. Finally, we attend leadership conferences. In the past few months, these have been virtual conferences, but in past years, we've traveled to Burlington, Vermont, Boston, and Hartford to attend nationally accredited conferences. All interested students are invited to attend these conferences. Students will have ample opportunity to learn about these leadership opportunities during new student orientation, and furthermore, through the engagement fair, which happens at the beginning of each semester. At the engagement fair, our club and organization leaders reach out to new students to invite them to join their organization. At Landmark, we make the club joining process as easy as possible. Students may join clubs by showing up to any meeting advertised on the calendar. They don't need to sign up in advance or get permission to attend. We currently have 18 clubs and organizations which students can join, including The Voices, our student-written and produced publication. Other popular clubs include the Arcade Club, the Esports Club, the Garden Club, and the Paranormal Enthusiasts. And if you can't find a club that suits your needs, then you can create one. When it comes to club formation, we offer a unique scaffolding approach that provides executive functioning support. A motivated student can create a club within a week because we walk students through the steps of club formation. We do get a lot of questions about Hillel, and as Zach noted, we do have an active Hillel on campus, which hosts Friday evening gatherings. In addition to providing support for student clubs, the Student Activities Office also advises the Student Government Association and the Campus Activities Board. The Student Government Association consists of elected officials who serve as the liaison between the student body and the college administration. Student Government Association holds weekly meetings which are open to all interested students, and it's possible for students who are new to campus to be elected to positions on SGA. The Campus Activities Board consists of a group of students who plan and execute campus events such as Fall Fest, Winter Carnival, and Spring Fling. Recently, the Campus Activities Board hosted a series of successful bonfire events. All Campus Activities Board events are 100% created and produced by students. If you're looking for evening recreation, be sure to stop by the Strout Family Student Center game room. We have billiards tables, air hockey, dome hockey, table tennis, and several arcade games. The game room is staffed by student employees, is open till midnight every night, and provides a relaxed atmosphere and opportunities to meet new friends. The Office of Student Activities is one of the largest student employers on campus. We hire students as orientation leaders, student center monitors, office assistants, marketing assistants, as well as offering semester-long programming internships. In conclusion, the Office of Student Activities is prepared to help you leap into action after you arrive on campus, to help you interact with other students, to assist you in engaging in clubs and organizations, or to start your own. We look forward to meeting you soon. And now I will turn this over to our Director of Social Pragmatic Programs, Andy Donahue.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andy Donahue, and I'm the Director of Social Pragmatic Support. And what we do is we provide support for students who are interested in becoming more involved socially, learning about relationships, and sometimes, the most important part is some help making friends, learning how to and having the opportunities. So our program is there's myself, I'm the director. Sally Banta is the assistant director. Sally's an alum from Landmark. And she's worked at Landmark for quite a few years in different capacities as an RD and also working in the high school program. Ashley Charette is a social coach with us, and Ashley is also a Landmark alum and has worked in different positions at Landmark as an admissions counselor and also in the high school summer programs. And Jonah Goldenberg is a social coach, and Jonah's a recent college graduate, but worked several summers for us in the high school program. So a diverse team, but I think what is really clear is a lot of the staff can connect with students with understanding what it's like to be someone who learns differently. So the way our program is set up is there are a few things that we try to focus on. And the first is teaching ecologically valid social skills. And when you think of ecologically valid, and what does that mean? It really means what works with young people, which is maybe different than what works with an older person or what your parents are telling you, but what works with young adults. Then we have social coaching, which is where we then practice, and you learn where you can practice the social skills that you're learning. And then there's a campus-wide collaboration with activities and programs on campus, where we work with different programs to find opportunities for students to practice. So our teaching part, we use a program which has been developed by UCLA, PEERS program. We've modified it to fit our students. And that's where we really teach the skills that are going to be helpful for someone who initially just in making friends, getting connected. Social coaching is where you'll practice it and find the opportunity, identify where you can practice it. So that's meeting with an individual separately from the class. And then lots of opportunities on campus to practice. That's where we work a lot with activities and athletics and residential life. So our programs are voluntary for students. They're open for any student at Landmark who's interested in becoming more connected. We have different levels of entry. We have the peers class, which is where most people start. We also have a dating boot camp, which is incredibly popular. And we're starting a peers to careers group this this spring. In addition, we have another program that we're starting that's connected with it, which is a Peers for Student Leaders. So this is really reaching out to the RA staff, orientation leaders, people who have been involved or are interested in leadership positions, and really helping with a lot of the communication and soft skills that they're going to find helpful. So look forward to meeting any of you who come here, and hope things go well.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you to all of our panelists. We have some questions coming in, and for any of our viewers, please do post your questions in the Q&A box, but I'll jump in with a few right now. So I think this one's for Emily. Someone is asking if there are any fashion clubs on campus.
There is currently a fashion club on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Easy question.
And I think you may have touched on this in your presentation, but it's also pretty easy to start a club, right? If a student doesn't find a club that they're interested in.
That's correct. They need to find a couple students to start it with them, and they need to find a faculty and staff advisor. And then once they have that, we walk them through the rest of the process.
Great. And another related question. When a new student gets here, what's the process? How do they apply to be involved with any of the recreation programs, or do they have to apply, or who do they talk to about that?
No, they just show up to any club meeting that's listed on the calendar. And that includes student government and campus activities board. They just show up, find out when the meeting's happening, and show up.
And for, say, athletics and recreation, they'd probably come to you and to Kari and Josh. Is that right?
Yeah, so for our recreation programs, any of our drop-in programs is very similar to a club. So if we have a fitness class, intramurals, those type of things, a student can just show up to that event and participate right away. If a student's interested in being on a sports team, one of the best things to do is just let me know that they're interested, and we will connect them with a coach and make sure they're on the list to receive all of those notifications. At Landmark College, we have an internal calendar where things like interest sessions for sports teams and those like first practice sessions are posted. So students can kind of find that information on their own. But if they're ever just kind of feel lost, they can just connect with the professional that's in charge of those programs. So myself for sports teams, Josh for, if they want to go on an outdoor trip, that kind of thing. And we'll make sure that we have them in our mailing lists and they're getting notifications and they know what the process is to be involved.
Great.
Mark, if I could just add something as well. One of the things that's showing up in these questions is that you always want to know, where can I get the information that's important to me to make sure that I'm taking advantage and getting involved in the way I want to get involved. And it can be overwhelming at any college. One of the great things about the program at Landmark, and we're not talking about a lot right now, is the residential staff. So we talked about your residence hall being your hub, your home base. Well, it's more than just the building. There's a professional staff member who lives in every residence hall, and they're called the RD, or resident dean. And the resident dean is supported by 3 other student leaders who work in the building. And one of their main jobs is to help you connect to the areas of interest and that you have on campus. So if you ever have a question about how do I sign up for a club, who do I talk to about the athletic program, where do I go to get something to eat, the answer to those questions are always going to be steps away from your door in the residential life staff. There's an office that is staffed until 11 o'clock every night, and you can just go right there and ask those questions and say, I don't know how to sign up for the basketball team. There might have been an email, but I didn't get it. Can you point me in the right direction? So know that out of everything that we do have, on campus. It can be hard to keep track of sometimes. So your residential staff is a great resource to go to, and they will point you in the right direction.
Exactly. It'd be great to get some based on what Michael was just saying, to get some of your perspective as a student. How did you find it as far as, getting involved with clubs and activities?
So in the res halls, it's super duper open, and what they have is different programs will put up little signs in the common room of the res hall, which make it really easy. Like, say I want to go to an intramural, but I forget which intramural is this week. I can go, and there will be a big poster with all the intramurals and the dates that they're happening. And I can just look, see which one it is, so I can come prepared. And if it's an intramural that maybe I kind of want to go to, but don't want to, but I have a lot of homework, I can prioritize my homework. But if there's one that I've really been looking forward to, I will know when it happened. And there's also whiteboards in the common rooms for students to write down, say they're hosting a club, or if something's happening that they want to notify other students about, they'll just write something down on the whiteboard saying, like, so-and-so is happening at this time. Please show up. And all the res halls are super open, and if any student has any problem, they just go straight to their RAs, who are extremely helpful and very friendly.
Great. It's great perspective. Thank you, Zach. And we have some questions again about some specific groups, so I'll throw them out there, and I guess reiterate that students can actually start their own clubs when they're on campus, if they, as Emily explained earlier. But so people are asking whether there's a yoga club and a photography club.
We do not currently have a yoga or a photography club, but again, that's something that somebody could start up if they wanted to.
There are academic programs for both photography and yoga. So those could be really good ways to connect with other students with similar interests.
The next question is asking if there are ways for new students to connect over the summer, I suppose, if a student were coming in the fall. So maybe social media connections, et cetera, or are there ways that we help new students facilitate that over the summer?
Well, I'll try to answer that to start. One of the neat programs that we do have, and I think it's in April, is called Accepted Students Day. And that's a day when all accepted students are invited to a program where not only can they learn more about, okay, now that we've been accepted and we said we're coming, how do we sign up for our housing assignment? What are our class schedules going to look like? Who's going to be my advisor? But we also want to find ways for students to make connections with each other at that time. And that's important because then you'll take those connections and you'll stay connected over the rest of the semester and the summer and into the fall semester. So we do have that program, and then students will often find, once they get their roommate assignments made and housing assignments made, they will reach out to their roommates and their suite mates and the apartment mates as well. There are a number of different clubs that if we know that students are interested in, we'll try to make those connections over the summer. So there are a number of different ways that you can get connected. And if a student's ever feeling like they want to be connected with a particular group of students or a particular club or students that are involved in a club over the summer, you can just give us a call. And I know that students like Zack would be more than happy to get on the phone, get onto Microsoft Teams, and to talk with you about everything that the college has to offer and how to get involved.
And this year, and as well as last April, of course, Accepted Students Day became Accepted Students Week and was virtual. And I think this year it starts on April 19th. But as Michael said, that's a great way to get acquainted with new students who will be coming. So speaking of virtual events, how has the college managed through COVID and not being able to be in person as much? I suppose just about anyone could answer them.
I can speak to that a little bit. One thing is we've done an awful lot of outdoor events. We've had a great deal of bonfires. And we've been able to have indoor events. There's just limits to how many people can be in rooms. So we've just been able to be very, for instance, the game room can have a certain number of people in it. So spaces are still open and events are still happening. It's just that they're a bit smaller than they used to be.
So if I could also add that, the college spent a lot of time planning for the fall semester and the spring and moving forward as well, to make sure that we got students back here safely, that we had things in place that would keep them safe on campus, and we had ways to just deal with anything that came up. But one commitment that we made, and I think we really came through on, is that everything that we offer to students through programs and activities, we're going to continue to offer. They just might look a little different. So as Emily said, club meetings might happen over Teams, or because of numbers that we can have in rooms. Half of the SGA can meet in the room, the other half would be on an online meeting, and then they'd switch around. But just about everything that we've offered at the college, we continue to be able to offer with very little exception. But I'd like to actually ask Zack. The proof is in what our students think. So Zack, what did you think of your experience on campus as the college was managing COVID?
I mean, there's no other way for me to really put it than I was pretty much the only one of my friends from back home who at college could continue to live life how they were, pretty much. Although it may have been a little different, I was never in fear that, maybe one of my friends has it. That was never a worry for me here, because everything here is so safe. Wherever you go, everybody is masked. It's always so safe. It's always so distanced. And because of that, and because of what the college has done here and the great job that they've done, we've been able to continue to do things how we have. The soccer team, for instance, we were still able to play. We didn't play against any other schools, but we had inter-squad games, and we dressed up and we all wore masks during the game, which I know sounds crazy, but it actually didn't make much of a difference. And it was great to look at my friends, who most of them ended up getting sent home within the first month because their college couldn't handle it. So I really thank Landmark for the great job that they've done for really keeping my life pretty much normal.
That's awesome. Thank you. And I was, as Michael was saying, so many programs were able to transfer to virtual events. I know Marc's really been active with the centers for making sure that taking those programs online. Maybe you could say a little bit about that, Marc.
Yeah, we've been able to take bro talks and girl code and to really have those virtual conversations. But we've been getting a lot of students to be able to jump on and have open discussions on what's happening in the world, especially with COVID. How are you really feeling, and being able to really still have CDI programs online, even when we only had the room where it only had 4 to 5 people can come in, but we were able to still do it virtual at the same time. So we really had a great turnout because students still want to engage, students still want to connect. So for us to be able to continue to have these programs be a success, because students, as long as they have the platform to be able to understand, connect, and grow, then we're still moving forward. And just their whole process of coming here in the first place. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Question for Andy. What percentage of our students participate in the social pragmatics program?
Good question. We have about, I think last semester we had 90 students who we worked with at some point. And for some students, it's several times a week. For some students, they may just be participating in one component of what we do. But it's a good percentage of the student body, which I think helps because people are going to be talking the same language and looking for the same things. And people want to make friends and make connections, and especially the dating workshop. That one's very popular. That one really, that helped our numbers because we had 29 students in that. So I don't think I added all of those. I want to add something to the last comment about student engagement, and something that for some students it can be challenging finding out, well, where am I going to meet people that could, because there aren't lots of people hanging out together, just kind of talking, getting to know each other in the same way. But that's where the social coaches really work a lot with students in identifying these are places where you can go, where everything we know about you and everything you've told us and what you're looking for, this is probably where you're going to find people who you want to hang out with and who want to hang out with you, who have shared interests. And so really kind of helping that with that guidance that takes away some of the stress of, okay, where am I going to find these groups? Where am I going to find people? So the social coach can really guide people. We have some people who may just ask to work with a social coach for a few sessions, just to kind of get some help with getting connected.
Thanks for that addition, Andy. Question for Kari. If a student wants to participate in competitive sports, do they need to get a form or a physical? I think that's the question. I hope I'm asking the question correctly.
Yeah, so at many schools, if you're participating in their competitive athletic programs, you have to have a specific physical for participation in that sport. At Landmark College, the general medical information that we're collecting and getting from students just to be a student is all that we need for that participation in our competitive sports programs. So there's no additional supplemental physical that's specific to a sport that a student would need to complete in order to be able to participate.
Thank you. Okay, someone is saying they come from an arts background and they're looking for a vibrant social environment outside of the structured programs. Can anyone here talk about any of the opportunities that might be available in the arts?
You have a vibrant art club meeting for several years.
And generally, there's theater as well, right? I think I know there couldn't be this past semester, but not a typical. We did have a theater club. I'm not sure if it's meeting again this semester. But a lot of these clubs sort of bubble up, and then it has to do with student interest. So if a student came here and wanted to start a theater club, then they could start a theater club. But we definitely have a very strong art club.
And in addition to the art club, there's usually like displays or gallery events on campus that display student work. So it's a really awesome opportunity to connect with other students who are interested in the arts and kind of, geek out, for lack of a better word, about those same interests. And faculty and staff always really enjoy attending those because we have a lot of really talented students here. So the arts are pretty important, and I think there are opportunities to connect with other students who have those similar interests.
I'll also say that the arts are not just vibrant here on the campus, but within Putney and within Brattleboro, there's a pretty robust arts community in those two towns. And of course, we're in Putney, and Brattleboro is just a few miles down the road as well. So on campus and off campus, you can get that connection.
It's a great point. Of course, Next Stage Arts is just right in downtown Putney, and I think we sometimes do some internships and other things with them as well. Michael, I think this question's for you. The question is, what are the resident choices and how much are they? So I assume that means the residence hall.
Sure, thanks, Mark. So Landmark College is unique, even for a school our size, a college our size. We provide the full range of residential options for students, from traditional residence halls, which is double rooms on hallways with common bathrooms and common lounges, what you typically would expect a residence hall to look like, to suite style living, to apartments that are on campus. We have 4-person apartments, and those are usually reserved for the students who've been here longer. But in between there's some suites as well. The whole program is designed to match you with a housing assignment that gives you the right amount of support that you need for the point in time when you're a student here. So new students usually need a little more support, so they'll be in a traditional residence hall. And then when they get some independent living under their belt, so to speak, they'll move on to suites and then apartments that are on campus. But you can get the whole range of living experiences here at Landmark. So by the time you're ready to move on, you know what it means to live in an apartment and the responsibilities that it does take. In terms of prices, they are listed on our website. There's a base price for a double room in a residence hall. I want to say it's around $3,500, but that's a general. Don't hold me to that. Then there's premium additions that could be added to that. So if you're in a single room, it'll cost a little more. If you're in one of the suites in a double or a single, those will cost a little more. And then an apartment, I think, is the most expensive option that we have on campus.
Hey, someone is asking if students who have been accepted but haven't yet committed to coming to the college can attend Accepted Students Day or Accepted Students Week, as it will be. And I believe the answer is yes. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. Right. Come on over or come online.
So someone wants to know, what is the most popular club on campus? Does anyone want to take a stab at that?
Well, in terms of the recreational clubs right now, it would have to be the esports club or the arcade club.
Great. Okay. If a student was online this fall due to the pandemic, do you think they would have a harder time transferring to on campus in the spring term, or would you advise that they wait until next fall?
One of the nice things about Landmark's program is that we've always had new students come to us at any point during the year, the fall or the spring. So as a result, our orientation programs are the same between the fall semester and the spring semester. So if you're coming in the spring as a first semester on-campus student, you'll get the same orientation program. You'll get the same introduction to the campus as you would that if you were in the fall. So I would say no, do not delay attending Landmark College for that reason, because we make sure that every new student coming on gets the same onboarding experience.
All right, thank you, Michael. Question about the dining hall. What's the food like? That would be a good one to hear from.
That's a Zack answer. Yeah, Zack.
Sorry, I was muted. So in the dining hall, it's they always have some things that always are the same. So they'll always have they have a salad bar. They have a grilled chicken that they typically always serve. They have pizza and pasta that they always serve, and then they also have things that they always switch up. And so they come from like all places around the world. So don't expect to see like just burgers and American things every day. There's sometimes they'll go Indian, sometimes they'll go Caribbean. And it really freshens things up, and it always makes me pretty excited when I walk into the dining hall just to see what they have today.
Great, and I think most of us eat at the dining hall fairly regularly, so we can also attest to the food being good. And also for if you're, if you have an alternative diet, I think that the Chartwells works pretty closely to make sure there are healthy alternatives.
Mm-hmm. Also want to mention that we have a cafe. So Zack was talking a lot about the dining hall. We have a cafe on campus as well in the student center, and that's an a la carte type of place. You can go for a burger, a sandwich, a snack, drink between classes, things like that. And that's open until 11 o'clock at night.
Great. Thanks, Michael. So someone's asking when students will hear whether they have been accepted. And I suppose that depends on which term they're applying for, but I don't know, do you have anything to add to that, Michael?
Well, I would say that we want, as soon as students complete their application and we have a full file on them, we want to get them an answer as soon as possible, whether you're applying for the spring or for the fall semester. But to answer that question specifically, pardon me, you should call the admissions office and speak to one of the admissions counselors there. They can tell you how long it takes. But as soon as we have all the information, we want to let you know the news. So that's how it works.
Yeah, if you're already working with an admissions counselor, you could certainly email them. And the general admissions address is admissions@landmark.edu. So we have a question about campus safety, how that's maintained and how safe campus is.
So we do have a campus safety office and team on campus. It consists of a director, an assistant director, and 4 officers. It's staffed in such a way that the campus is patrolled and monitored 24/7. So the officers are always on campus, either in the central office, and the campus safety office is up in the residence hall area, or they're patrolling the campus and going through all the buildings. Campus safety is really meant to be just another resource for you to come to if you have a question, if you have a need, or if there's something that you see that's of concern. They're there to serve students, and that's their number one priority. That's there. So in addition to campus safety, all the residence halls are locked 24/7. So if you live in a residence hall, it's easy to get in with your ID card. But if you don't live in the residence hall, you have to be let in by somebody who lives there.
Great. And a question for Josh. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the outings and trips that you participate in with students?
Got to unmute myself here. Yeah, I take suggestions from students all the time. Sometimes it's informally and conversationally, and other times, I'll try to structurally put it out there to students, so that I'm, putting things out there that students want to engage in. We've done past regular shuttles to local area ski mountains, and we'll do sometimes one-off trips. I think one of the things we've added the last few years in the winter time is a trip to one of the local cross-country ski centers that also rents out fat bikes and tubing. And so we'll make a day to go there. And so if you want to try out a bunch of different things, like that weekend, you can go and you can try tubing, you can go fat biking, and you can go cross-country skiing. And that's all just kind of there as one of the trips that we offer. So that's an example of a wintertime activity. And I mentioned some of the summertime ones. I don't know if there's anything specifically that someone's looking for. But, like I said, we try to offer things that are seasonally available to us in New England, because there's, really the culture around here is the outdoor culture is really strong around here. So, there's many things to tap into.
Sure.
I'll just add that our really popular trips in the past have included paintball, whitewater rafting, various hikes to different mountains. With COVID, we've been a little bit more restricted with what we can actually do with students, which is kind of the case everywhere, but students are still getting off campus and being active, and we're finding ways to make that work out.
Great. Thanks, guys. So we're almost at time, but I'll fit in one more question. How big is the campus? How many acres? And I think the answer to that is around 125. How close is it to the next town? And so the question is, are children allowed to visit the town? So yes, but I suppose maybe they want a little more information about the social activities in the nearest town. So the nearest, Michael, I'll let you talk about that, but I suppose Brattleboro would be the nearest city.
Yeah, we really think of the major hubs that students like to visit around Landmark outside of Putney itself, which is a very small but great town to be in. It would be Brattleboro, Vermont, Keene, New Hampshire, and Northampton, Massachusetts. Those are really three vibrant areas. They all have a different kind of vibe to them. They all have great places to just hang out, cafe style, great downtowns, but they also have all the amenities you'd like all the stores that you would and restaurants that you're probably most accustomed to. We do when things are going well, and we were able to do it this spring. We do run shuttle services to all of those towns, so students who don't have a car would still be able to jump on the shuttle, go to Keene or Brattleboro or Northampton, and just get off campus for a while and enjoy those cities.
And as far as this, oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm going to point out that downtown Putney, which is really small, is within walking distance of campus. So students can just walk to the general store or the co-op or, the thrift store that's there. So there's a few things that students can get to without needing any transportation whatsoever. And we also do rent bikes in the warmer months. So if students need to branch a little bit farther, that can work for them as well. We've had students rent bikes to go horseback riding, because it's just a couple extra miles and they want an easier way to get there. So those bigger towns are a little bit farther, but the stuff that's in Putney is within walking distance.
Good distinction. Thanks, Kari. And Brattleboro is about 8 or 9 miles from Putney, and Keene is about 20 miles. Not sure about Northfield, maybe a little more than 20, but the size of the campus, as I think Josh and Kari talked about earlier, or maybe not, but there's trails and there's zip lines, and so the actual campus itself feels fairly contained and easy to get around, but there's a lot of space and land around it. And we're just about to end, but I'd love to just get Zack's perspective on that piece of it. What it's like to go into other towns and what there is to do there and what there is to do on campus.
So in other towns, it's I haven't been one of the big travelers. Because, without COVID, I know some people, we can't do this now, but some people before COVID, they would travel up to the border of the US and Canada and would just drive all the way up and go there. But within these near towns, there's restaurants and there are lots of different shops. There's one shop in Brattleboro that I've been to a bunch of times. It's like this little vinyl CD shop. And in Putney, one of the places I go to a lot is the Putney Co-op and the Putney General Store. The Putney Co-op is where a bunch of students go if they want super organic options and they can't find it at the bookstore or the cafe. That's where they go. It's only a mile or two away, if that. And the Putney General Store is well within walking distance. It's like 5-10 minute walk. And that's where you'll have like anything else that you'd want that the cafe or bookstore might not have. So say you want like a type of sandwich that they don't have, you'd go to the general store and that's where you'd get it.
Great. Thank you. So I don't know if anyone has anything they didn't get to cover that they'd like to say at the end, but we're about to wrap up. So Michael, do you have anything you wanted to add?
Sure. Well, glad that so many of you joined us today. I really appreciate the student activities team here that took the time to explain everything to you. But I can imagine that after this, or even right now, you still might have some questions about what Landmark has to offer you and what your life would look like here. So if that's true for you, don't hesitate to send a question to your admissions counselor or through admissions. They're letting us know, they're forwarding things to us all the time to get you the information that you need to make sure that you know Landmark College is going to be the right fit for you. So any questions, just please don't hesitate to shoot them our way. Admissions@landmark.edu, right, Mark?
That's right. Yep. And I just remembered I wanted to put in a plug for our next week's webcast, which will be all about health and counseling, health and wellness at Landmark College. So we'll have our Director of Health Services, Director of Counseling, talking a little bit about that. That will be at 4:30 Eastern Time here on Platform Q. The following week, which is January 28th, we have one on hybrid learning. So we'll have some of the folks who are involved with our online dual enrollment program and our Research and Training Institute talking all about our online programs and more broadly just about some of the struggles that students with LD particularly might be having with online and hybrid learning. So that's all for today, and we thank you all for joining us, and we hope we'll see you on our next webcast. Take care.